Hello, hi, welcome to Real Karuk Live. I just realized that I'm not sure what the audio input method input is, what the source is, I guess. I don't know if it's still the webcam or if it's my laptop mic. I don't know. But this is the vibe today. We're going to be serving wonky angles until things settle down. Um, you know, and I found my Saturn earring, or one of them that you gave me. So thanks again, Eve. Hey, Holly, how you doing today? Okay, so the Queen of Coins, we've seen her. Today is 90s. Let me see. 90s chill lo-fi steady music, lo-fi rain, chill beats, lo-fi rain from the channel The Japanese Town. So this is the vibe today. Hello. I was thinking about doing something more specifically around soft, but just something that I may not be going about in the best way or thinking about in the right way. But I was like, I can do that on my own time, right? I feel like I've been seeing, I don't know. You're hot and sticky and not in a pleasant way. Ew. R.I.P. Um, it beats being frozen, I guess, for a little bit. It's been so warm all over. I'm using the Fable Makers today because it's one of the decks that I'm gonna keep this one out. Most of the other ones I'm gonna pack up. The Empress just came out mostly in reverse. Let's see. I'm trying to get the stuff to move to the chill lo-fi music. The Empress in reverse is interesting. We've actually seen the Empress in reverse, I feel like, lately. And I feel like her message was one of it's not about manifesting or creating anything right now. It's more about receiving, or the things that we're receiving have already been set forth, have already been put in motion. I feel like it was something like that. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it's been. I don't know what the summers are usually like, but sorry to hear it. I'm gonna miss it. Here, I get to control the thermostat. So if I want to freeze in my own home, I can make that choice. But when I move out and I'm in this in between, I don't know. I might have to sweat indoors, and I don't. Well, just hope it doesn't come to that. So I've been seeing stuff. I don't know what the vibe is collectively. I just feel like I know where Patrick sort of is and what's unfolding around Patrick. And Saturn is about to go retrograde. I'm excited personally. I'm also intrigued at the timing of things. But like collectively, I'm just like, let's see what's up. And I'm gonna get 2, 3 cards for like general collective, what's coming up for the collective. Um, a card that I'll read as like a challenge. And of course, we're gonna like use the deck dungeon format. And then cards on how to navigate, tips to navigate. Um, to try to be as helpful as I can be, I guess. Um, yeah, you know what I mean. You have to draft fast with windows down. Hopefully, still in the speed limit. Excuse me. King of Wands and the Page of Chalices at the cut. Interesting. Okay, yeah, it's not going to shuffle that one. All right. Let's go. So 2 to 3 cards for the collective. We'll go, where is the collective now? Temperance. Let's get one more. Ooh. Temperance and the Queen of Wands. Temperance and the Queen of Wands is such an interesting energy. Where is collective going? Page of Wands. Let's get at least one more. I want 2 to 3. Page of Wands, 6 of Wands. The challenge. Oh. The challenge is the Hanged Man. And then I guess advice on navigating. So I'm like doing the thing where the deck dungeon challenges are based in the minor arcana. The major arcana, like there are no challenges for the major arcana. So I didn't even get to see the card before I flip back over. So there is no challenge. Oh gosh. Bottom of the deck is the 5 of coins because why wouldn't it be? It's a Matthew. Hello, friend. How art thou? Okay, I'll just pick up the card because 5 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands is the bottom of the deck. We just saw the 5 of Pentacles. That does not. I wish there was a convenient way to like. Wait, that's the advice? This is so interesting. Oh no. I'm confused. Oh, this was the bottom of the deck. The devil card came out as advice. See, but again, like the devil card in this deck is one of the more interesting devil cards that I have. Because to me, it doesn't read like a bad devil energy. This devil almost reads as, let's say that like it's when there's, let's say like that when we're in a position where we know that we need to change something in our lives. And we know that that change will be made, like, that's a change that we're making for the better, but it's a change that we struggle to implement in some way. And so it's like the hold that that has on us. Like, I know that I need to do this, but I can't do this. And it's so easy to guilt and shame and blame myself for not doing this thing that I know that I need to do. That feels so impossible. It's like the thing, although it's good for us, it becomes almost a thing that we can poison ourselves with. If that makes sense. Because he's holding up the live long and prosper. And I'm like, what's devil energy about living long and prospering? But they're chained to this so easily, or it can often be sometimes too. Like, there are desired states that we want to be in, and there are things that we do want to feel, there's things that we don't want to feel. To maintain being whatever it is that we desire, or to be wherever it is that we desire, it requires us to go through something that isn't necessarily desirable. And so, in order, like, this is avoiding that undesirable feeling in the temporary or in the short term, hoping to make it long term, but we never do it because we don't do the thing that's required. I feel like there was a freedom card in an oracle deck, and in reverse, it was like, freedom is something that we crave, and sometimes there are things that we must do. Excuse me. Sometimes there are things that we must do in order to be free. So freedom in reverse is us being uh, so focused on freedom that we don't handle our responsibilities that actually give us that freedom. It's a short-sightedness. So it kind of gives me that. I feel like the text is so tiny. Oof. Yeah, it's like ridiculous. Yeah, this Five of Pentacles is so interesting because Temperance and the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands reads like our ability to manifest things. It's our attractiveness. It's our radiance. It's what compels the forces of the world, the universe, and the hearts of others to join our cause or whatever. But with Temperance here, it's almost like there's a pause that's being put on it. Like the divine, or collectively, we're in this energy where the divine is like diluting our ability to manifest things. Or it's like dampening our voices. And then the energy that's coming is the Page of Wands. So this is effectively what may feel like a demotion from the Queen of Wands to the Page of Wands. But with this Page of Wands comes the Six of Wands. And because the Hangman is the challenge is to see something in a different way. So this all together gives me like a return to the basics. Or it's like it's brushing up on the basics, the fundamentals, it's strengthening one's foundation. And then devil energy would help. Again, in this deck in particular, specifically, devil energy being what will help us is for us to like get down in the weeds and do whatever it is that the world, the universe is going to be asking us to do. but to actually do it, to actually do the hard thing, to make life easier or better down the road, rather than being so focused on the immediate short term happiness, peace, stability, whatever. It's almost like this could be a metaphorical storm that comes in. And usually in the storm, we like bunker down. We like buy up all the supplies, we freak out, we bunker down, and we try to like ride it out. But this is like the advice is to dance in the storm and play in the rain. Now, and I think that's why this Five of Pentacles is here. The Ten of Wands is under this Five of Coins too. Uh, the Ten of Wands is the axis of burden and responsibility. Responsibility is something for us to manage, handle, and take care of. A burden is when we're not responsible for something, but we take on that responsibility. Again, devil card energy as the strategy for navigating this. It's if something is our responsibility, then we handle it. If something's not our responsibility, then we don't, regardless of how we feel about whatever. Right. So let's say that like you are in a particularly good position or situation relative to whatever or whoever. And let's say that there's someone who is going through something that is close to you, but it is for them to go through that. And so, this dampening of your power or this souring of your mood that the divine is putting the collective in right now could be so that you allow someone else to go through something that they need to go through. Because it's like if you were still Queen of Wandsing, it's almost like you could come in and solve something for somebody. You could come in and be something for someone that they need to learn again, because this is the advice. The advice is to actually do the hard thing. They need to learn to do or be whatever for themselves, and they can't do that if you're constantly there doing it for them. And so, to ensure that you can't do that again, you're being like demoted to the Page of Wands. I mean, while that's happening, again, it's like you can brush up on the basics, on the fundamentals. There's probably something for you to do down there. It's like it works sort of both ways. This is interesting. Maybe this is why it's devil energy too. Because it almost feels a little like Libra, like the Libra Aries nodal axis right now. Almost like we're being put more into an Aries energy with the temptation of like slipping into Libran energy. Cool. And maybe that's it. 20-minute video, you know? Why not? I'm going to give this 3 shuffles. Is there anything else that need be said? If not, we can go on the final card and end it. Nope. Bottom of the deck is a 3 of coins. The 3 of coins was behind the 10 of wands. So it was 5 of coins, 10 of wands, 3 of coins. 3 of coins, again, like it's something that is overall beneficial to like all of us. And it does so in a way, it's like it empowers us, it allows us to become more of who we are, so that when we come together collaboratively, the overall work is better because the individual pieces are more whatever they need to be. Cool. Quick and easy. That was interesting though. Like when Temperance and the Queen of Wands came out, and it felt like the divine was like collectively dousing individual flames. I was like, okay. I feel like I was just watching something. And it was like the importance of the basics and the importance of having a good foundation. And a good foundation, a lot of times, isn't like flashy or whatever. Because it's so fundamental, it seems like it can be easy to miss the beauty and the importance of it because it's so lay. I guess if that's the word. um, but it's like it's really important. Okay, getting back to basics, I guess. And it's almost like the Aries Libra axis is almost very like you can't pour from an empty cup energy. It's very like uh, you can care for others more and better. You have more to give when you are well taken care of, like yourself type energy. I want to see though, how could that be interpreted? This is how I'm interpreting it. How else could this be interpreted? Five of Pentacles, Six of Swords. One more. Where is it going? Oop. Two of Wands. Bottom of the deck is the Nine of Chalices. Two of Wands, Two of Swords. That's how I interpret it. Because I feel like if people were to like all of a sudden, it's like, because it happens. Every now and then, it seems like there'll be a point in time where some people will be like, does anyone else feel like the divine is like just disappeared overnight? Is anyone else's guides like quiet right now? Is anyone else struggling to connect? Um, and it feels like this Temperance and the Queen of Wands could almost be that, or it could almost be interpreted that way. And it, again, it doesn't necessarily feel like it's the point. So, Five of Coins, Six of Swords. This is an energy of like, because something isn't there, this is like a fleeing energy. But with the Two of Wands and the Two of Swords, it feels like a lack of direction. Like the Two of Wands is someone who is at a crossroads or choosing a new path, but no matter what they choose, with the Two of Swords here, it's like there's no answer. It's still radio silence. And so I could imagine it being this confusion that's like, well, when I was over here, like the divine was quiet. I got no guidance. I felt disconnected. And now that I'm moving over here, like I thought that I would be able to connect or hear or see better, but there's still this silent energy. What would this lead to? The Empress. Now she's upright. Clarify this, Empress. The Knight of Wands and the Seven of Coins. The Nine of Cups was at the bottom of the deck. The Seven of Cups is here now. We've lost two cups. It feels like in that I could be wrong. I'm just the dude. Take it as it resonates when it resonates. If it resonates, and if it don't resonate, don't take it. But it feels like if we aren't careful, we can easily, in this time or in the times that are coming, if we're not careful, we can easily miss, like misattribute or misattribute or misunderstand the silence as a lack of support. The Empress, the Knight of Wands, and the Seven of Coins, it feels like us abandoning something that we've been like nurturing, manifesting, calling in favor for something else. It's like a backup plan or a backup option. This is a thing, again, that is on its way to us. This is a thing that we've been nurturing. And if we're not careful, we could abandon it and in an attempt to like go in a different direction that may not necessarily be it for us. It's just the nature of the time that we're in. It's like the season that we're in. And again, it moves from the Nine of Cups to the Seven of Cups. Because it's still the Seven of Cups, I feel like it's not that we would necessarily land on something that we don't want. I guess also with the Seven of Cups, it's up to chance. It would be rolling the dice, spinning the roulette, taking a gamble, taking a risk. Um, a risk that we may like something, but it feels like the direction that we were heading in. It's almost like if your GPS is like stay on this road for 10 miles or 20 kilometers or whatever, and you're on that road, but let's say like 2 miles in, 5 kilometers in, your GPS signal cuts out. And it's like when that happens, we could freak out and start to like is this my turn, is that my turn, like maybe we should pull over, maybe we should turn around to the last point where the GPS was like working, maybe we should ask somebody, maybe we should do all of these things. But it's like if we're only 2 out of 10 miles or 5 out of 20 kilometers, it it feels like the signal will pick up before we hit that 10 mile 20 kilometer mark. There's just like this area of interference in between where we just have to trust that the last direction that we received was like a good one, or that we can keep following the last direction that we received, meaning that there is something to carry us through this. I don't know. Cool. I said we would get final cards, now we get no final cards. um but again, like the Seven of Cups, it can still work out to be something amazing and brilliant and beautiful, and that we still want it. You know what I mean? I don't know. Ooh, Seven of Coins, the Hangman, 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Because of the Seven of Coins and the Hangman and the 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck, um, it's giving this energy of it's a moment in time where we put our own special twist on it. If this is a choreographed dance, this is the part where we freestyle. This is the part where it's like we're baking something and it can become a loaf of bread or a muffin or cake or a pie or whatever. Assuming you're baking something and you're using the same ingredients, but depending on how you prepare it, it can be a number of things. It's almost like it's that point, which is where like we step up and we kind of like lead things, we kind of steer things for a little bit. where we personalize something so it's not just like generic. And there's nothing wrong with being generic, you know? But it's just like we have the opportunity to personalize something. That's what the Seven of Coins and the Hangman is giving me. Or it's like if you're baking something and after it's in the oven for a certain amount of time, you like do something to decorate it or put a personal touch. It's your own, like your fingerprint. Like they say that people who code have a certain like signature or a way that they code where you can tell it's them. Artists might have like a signature style or a signature technique. Like this is the time where we add our signature to something type energy. And that's why there's not as much input because no one else can tell you, not even the divine can necessarily tell you how to be you and how to do something in the way that you would truly do it. Because if they told you, then it would be you doing something with their direction. You know what I mean? That's the vibe. And then the King of Chalices is at the bottom of the deck. That is the Archmage of, and then there's the Sun, exactly. The King of Chalices is the Archmage of Chalices, which is all about wisdom, right? Bottom of the deck now is Strength. And the Sun, heavy Leo energy. The Sun, the 10 of Coins, and the 7 of Wands. With Strength at the bottom of the deck. Love that. It's like there's something about, and again, it was the Page of Wands and the 6 of Wands. The Page plus the 6 equals the 7. There's something about the way that you are going to navigate this, and there's something about the way that other people are going to navigate this next part of whatever. That's really going to be like this defining moment. Cool. All right. The text is like so tiny. And I got to be like this close and like this to read it. Oh, I love you too. I hope the best for you, Sir Matthew. Sir Matthew of the Tones and Rhythms. 3 of Coins and the King of Wands. Is no, the Knight of Wands is my pre-strength. The Knight of Wands is my pre-strength card. Oh my gosh, I forgot. So it went from the Empress pre-strength and the 7 of Coins to the 7 of Coins and the Hangman to the 8 of Coins and whatever that other card was. All right. I'm gonna have to split this at some point. All right. I'm gonna split this and then I'm gonna get individual final cards. I could have left this at 20 minutes. I could have ended this 13 minutes ago. I'm sorry. I am who I am. All right. Final card number 1. Please. 10 of Wands and the Queen of Swords applicant. 10 of Wands and the Queen of Swords is almost like a burden of truth. It's a burden of truth, and it's a question of who we become when we know the truth. It's like some people may know a truth and get like really big headed and very like egotistical, like I know something that you don't know. Some people learn a truth and they kind of use it against people to try to, or just like to manipulate a situation. And then I guess it's also a question of like how we give truth, how we communicate truths. It's the burden of the truth, both on holding it and communicating it. All right. Final card number 1, please. Under 40 minutes would be grand. I've got thank you. Page of Swords. Here's the Page of Swords. And here's the devil at the bottom of the deck with the Two of Swords behind the devil. Devil energy came out one time and it read like to devil. When it comes to devil energy, there's always, at least usually, at least a little bit of the truth. Like it's a lie that's built around the truth, or it's manipulation of truth into something that is untrue. But somewhere, some way, there is at least a morsel of truth in it. The Page of Swords is about finding the truth within that devil energy. With the Two of Swords here, I don't know if it's going to be like a missing piece. I don't know what the significance of that truth is going to be, but it may make it easier to see something. All right. Final card number two. We got the Page of Chalices at the cut with the Five of Chalices. That was probably not super helpful. All right. Final card number two. To me, in some ways, the Page of Chalices and the Five of Chalices could be us finding that connection even when it doesn't feel like there is a connection. When guides go quiet, when the divine goes quiet, when the universe goes quiet, it's still there. Like the connection is still there. And so it's pretty much impossible for the divine not to be there, even if the divine isn't speaking. So the Page of Chalices finds that connection or deepens their internal well to restart, resume that connection in the presence of silence. The Five of Cups is the silence. The Page of Cups is the one who is still in communication. Maybe that's something that devil energy helps the Page of Swords see, is that like the divine is still there in some way. All right, final card number two, face down. Love it. Bottom of the deck is the Three of Chalices. Love. It's a card of celebration. It's a card of coming together. Again, in the theme of communication, maybe there are times when the topics of discussion are like sensitive, or the times themselves are very sensitive. And because we have free will, there are some, again, it's like there are some moments, there are some choices, some decisions, some things that we have to that we have to freestyle. And so this could almost be, because of the silence, because of the quiet, and because the Page of Chalices is able to still tap into whatever, it feels like this Three of Chalices is a redefining of a relationship, or it's able to like sit in. I know Reem, the Three of Chalices is the second deck in a Cancer. And I know Reem like released, I didn't finish it. I watched a little bit. And she said something about Cancerian energy being at like the head of the table instead of sitting in the side chairs. But this is almost like being invited to the round table when like larger when discussions are being had that affect things on a larger scale. But it's because, like, it's like the child that overhears their parents talking about something, and then they're caught, and then the parents like bring them in, or it could be a person, it doesn't have to be a child. But it's like, oh well, like this affects you too, and since you're here, like this is what's happening, this is how we're thinking about navigating it. Like, what are your thoughts and opinions, since this is something that affects you? And maybe, like, if this is a work situation, um, excuse me, you could be almost asked to be a representative for the people in a position similar to yours who are not present at this meeting, or who aren't like a part of this conversation. So it's like you get to bring them into the fold, type energy. Okay. Now the card that came out face down is the King of Swords. This is recognition. It is because of your. It's like this is why you're invited. It's either this is why you're invited to this discussion that's happening like behind closed doors, or when you're brought into the conversation and you're asked your opinion on whatever. This is the level of, like, this is the way that you show up in that conversation. We've seen the Archmage of Swords before, and his challenge is one of logic and integrity. So that's interesting. It's also giving me Iakis and Radamanthos energy more so than Minos or Minos. Like the judges of the underworld, they were mostly three kings that were shown to be like very just and very wise. So much so that they have a part in judging the souls of mortals as they enter the underworld or whatever, wherever they are in the Tartarus, Elysium, underworld, whatever. Like they were humans, they were mortals who lived their lives in such an exemplary way that they were asked to call to a higher position. It could also be your who Bodhisattva. It could be your like Enoch, Elisha, someone who like ascended while they were still living, type energy, or anybody, I guess, even after they pass. Like they lived their lives in such a way that the divine asked them to take up a position in a higher whatever, type energy. How would you break this one down? I don't know. Take it as it resonates. um, so yeah, this could be either or. I'm almost leaning more towards the second one, the one where like it's an energy that's invited in, and then based upon the way that they conduct themselves in that conversation, they're seen as this King of Swords energy. They're seen as logical and of upright integrity and stuff. Because, or it could be either way. Again, because of the second way that I interpreted how the cards came out, the way of like, there is something that you can do for somebody, but it's for them to do it for themselves. So circumstances will see you unable to do something for someone else, or it will see you like really busy and you needing to prioritize something for you. It'll make it harder for you to still have that same whatever. Again, because it's something that someone else needs to do. And in that case, you're already recognized as this King of Swords. And that's why you're sort of like removed from the situation. I don't know. The Three of Coins, again, that collaboration at the top of the deck. I just picked up the deck and it was still there. I don't know, but this is interesting. What would be? I'm gonna leave this King of Swords here. If there were a challenge in which the King of Swords was seen to be King of Swords, Lee, what would it be? It's also interesting how intelligence is coming out on top lately in general, but wisdom is sort of like lacking, quote unquote. Because I'm thinking back to like the perception checks that I collectively generally made and how hard it was to like be able to perceive something. But with the investigation checks, like when we apply our intelligence, we arrive at a conclusion that's different, that's more correct than if we were to just use our wisdom and perception. And again, upon successfully completing the challenge of the Archmage of Swords, we get the Tome of Clear Thought. And it's like, yeah, the Tome of Clear Thought, which had the ability to increase one's intelligence to like superhuman levels. And again, it was that like, it's not what we think, it's how we think. The Three of Cups, again, like the intelligence of this King of Swords is recognized. That's why the King of Swords is invited to participate in those conversations. And it's again, it's like it's not what the King of Swords knows, it's how the King of Swords thinks. Anyway, what would be the challenge? Because I love the deck dungeon challenges and I want one. I'll give it 5 shuffles. If nothing comes out, then I won't take one. Ooh, look at that. You see that card? It won't go in. I'm so thirsty for a challenge. Ooh, okay. Oh, okay. Now we got like 3. Strength is the bottom of the deck again. 6 of Swords, 6 of Chalices, 5 of Chalices. The 6 of Chalices and the 5 of Chalices came out together, and then the 6 of Swords came out. This card that's face down is the 4 of Swords. So altogether, 4 swords, 6 chalices, 5 chalices, 6 swords, and strength is at the bottom of the deck. There's something here. It's the ability of the King of Swords. I'm going to put these back and I'm going to shuffle again 5 times. And then we're going to try to get 1 card because this is too many. I'm not reading all these. But there's something here about the way that this King of Swords has navigated before. Because it's like when everything is still, when everything is right in the world, when everything is calm, it's able to have that connection. But whenever things start to not be the best with the 5 of Chalices, it's like with the 6 of Chalices and the 6 of Swords around it, it's able to tap into something and move forward regardless. Or it's able to like, it's almost like it has a generator. So if the power goes out, it comes back on. And it's like the strength of this bond, the strength of this connection. Here's the last page. The page of coins is behind this strength card. And this is almost like when we incarnate here or whenever we're away from our Heavenly Father or the grand and great God, Goddess, whatever, the divine. On earth, things are so like dense or heavy, or we get so wrapped up in our like day-to-day lives and the things happening in our lives that to it becomes easy for those lines of connection, for those lines of communication to like suffer some kind of interference. But with strength, this is something that remains, something that perseveres through the like earth challenge, filter, difficulty, whatever. And again, like that's this energy. In a Five of Cups situation, it's able to Six of Cups back to whatever because of the strength of that connection and continue sort of like moving and navigating or whatever. That's what it's reading like at least. That's why the King of Swords is recognized. It's almost like for the King of Swords to wind up where it is in the first place speaks to something about the King of Swords. For the King of Swords to be in the presence of whatever in a time of whatever means something. Very much so, like, how did you figure this out? Or, like, I don't know, the King of Swords cracked the code. That was one. That was two. That's three. Thank you. Four. And five. We got one. It's face down. It could be a major. I don't know. Bottom of the deck is the Three of Chalices again. The Three of Chalices are very like one of us type energy as well. It's the Eight of Wands. And in this Eight of Wands, it may be different today. The movement is that in the water and this energy around the wands, but the wands themselves aren't moving in this card, which is interesting because they could easily be like coming in and out of the frame. This is the Eight of Wands in this deck for me. It's about the power of presence, or it's the power of someone's word if it's about communication. It's like someone's presence causes things to move. When someone speaks something because they said it, like the King of Swords is an energy that's impeccable with their word. The King of Swords is an energy that will not lie. So because the King of Swords said it, it means something. And so things almost react or behave accordingly, according to the word of the King of Swords, which is again this energy. Not surprised. But let's read it, shall we? I probably have it on there, but it's fine. It's 10:10. Oh my goodness. 10:10 p.m. It's 10:10. Where's my documents? Please. Hello? Don't do this to me. I know I literally just put this on my phone the other day. I literally just. Is it in downloads? It's in downloads. Okay, thank you. Goodness. I was like, I know I downloaded this. I downloaded this the other day. I know you're on my phone. A little bit too far. The Emperor. Okay, we're getting closer. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like 8 little whatever and 4 salamanders because that's the structure of the challenges of the wands, but we're gonna make sure. So, a number of magma methods equal to the number of the card the room represents, and half as many salamanders patrol each of these rooms. A number of 5 foot square areas of the floor equal to the card's number are made of lava. The door opens when all the enemies are defeated, unconscious, or incapacitated. So we have to defeat or incapacitate 8 magma methods and 4 salamanders, while 8 of the 8, I think these are what, 40 by 40? While a certain amount of the room is covered in lava. Um, I guess if we go back to, because contextually it's happened, it was the Knight of Swords who was obsessing over a puzzle. If we could, at least for a moment, if we could, for at least a moment, get the Knight of Swords' attention away from the puzzle, we get to move on. We accomplish the challenge. But if we could solve the puzzle, then we got like the boots of the Zephyr or something like that. With those boots, having if we could solve that puzzle, it would render the magma in this room like pointless. Especially, I guess we would have to specialize in mounted combat because the horse, if we were on a horse, we would be able to, like the horse would be able to traverse over lava because it would float over it. Um, we've seen the challenge of the Seven of Wands before, so there's one more magma method and one more salamander. I guess we did see the Four of Swords. Let's see if I can do this. I don't have a monster manual, so we're gonna have to do one of these. So this is what they look like. There's 8 of these thingies, little fire imps. Oh crap. Armor class of 11. They have 22 hit points, a walking and flying speed of 30 feet. So they're not particularly strong or intelligent. They're more dexterous and they have more constitution, but their wisdom and charisma is whatever. They can be stealthy. They're vulnerable to cold, immune to fire and poison. They can see in the dark. Death burst, false appearance. While the method remains motionless, it is indistinguishable from an ordinary mound of magma. So it's also like being careful of how we navigate. If we have the boots of the Zephyr or whatever, the horseshoe of the Zephyr, um, and we get our horse to just like run over this as if it's another mound of magma because it's still, we wouldn't be able to distinguish, we wouldn't catch it basically. So to successfully navigate that, I guess, and it said indistinguishable. Um, there's a certain amount of like overconfidence that we pop up. There's a certain amount of overconfidence that could be potentially detrimental. And it feels like that would be more of an investigation check than a perception check. Because if we know that there's supposed to be 8 of them, I mean, I guess it could be either. That may be more of like, I don't know if that'd be an arcana check to know that they could be indistinguishable. I don't know. If it's arcana, that would be wisdom. Um, Now, the salamander. Salamander. Here we are an hour later. Could have ended this video 40 minutes ago. Salamander. This is what the salamanders look like. They're like flame nagas almost. Let's see. They have an armor class of 15 and 90 hit points. So they are roughly like 4 times as strong, roughly. They have 4 times more health than the magma guys. Now they're very strong. They are even more dexterous and have more constitution, more charismatic. Like they had no negative proficiencies. They're more strong and dexterous and have a decent amount of constitution. But again, they're vulnerable to cold. These are resistant to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non magical attacks. Immune to fire. They can also see in the dark. Heated body, heated weapons, multi attack, spear, tail. So, not stereotypically, traditionally, the King of Swords is the coldest, or the Swords element is associated with cold, winter. The King and Queen of Swords are like the cold ones. So, the King of Swords does have a natural advantage against these creatures. Again, which may again just speak to the innate strength that this King of Swords has within him. I don't know, within them. So is that something that establishes the King of Swords as the King of Swords? The relative ease with which he handled these fire creatures? I don't know. What would these magma thingies? I guess we can pull another card. The magma methods, or however you pronounce it. We're gonna say this card. This is what the Seven of Swords. Oops, is what they're like characterized by. And then the salamanders. So it's 8 of those, 8 Seven of Swords energies, and then 4 of these world card energies. Bottom of the deck now is the Page of Coins again. Interesting. The Seven of Swords is almost an interesting card because it feels like, in a lot of ways, when a Seven of Swords is depicted, it's sometimes implied that the swords aren't needed. Like there's not an active fight, there's not an active battle. So the swords aren't even necessarily necessary. Even here, right? Like it happens under the cover of night, but there's no fight, there's no war, there's no battle, there's no need for these swords. And so maybe that's that energy. It's the removal of all of these things. Maybe 8 things. Maybe it's 8th house energy. It's the removal of these things that aren't even necessarily needed, which may test our, I don't know if it's necessarily greed, but it's almost like why would we be so upset to lose something that we didn't need or that wasn't good for us? But maybe it does it in a baiting type of way. Like, oh, I just took your thing that you haven't used in 20 years. Come chase me and get it back. But these 4 things, these are like world card energies. And it's 4 of them. And it almost feels like they work together because there's twice as many. So it's like things are removed in pairs. And as things are removed, it's almost like as we reach a certain level of peace, maybe within ourselves, um, So if we combat each with each, the Four of Swords, because that's the cold that the salamanders are weak to. The Four of Swords would combat the four salamanders, which would be us finding peace or being at peace with whatever these changes are in our lives. The Eight of Swords would combat the eight magma methods. And so that would be us trusting that whatever it is that is leaving, whatever it is that we're losing, however it is that things are shifting, even if we can't see the how or why, again, like we trust that if it's being taken or if it's being removed, it's not necessary. And this is the King of Swords that we're talking about too. This is someone who's going to be recognized. Hey, David, how you doing? This is going to be someone who's recognized as a King of Swords. And I could see someone being recognized as a King of Swords if, like, they lost this. It's almost very Job in the losing. Like, they lost this and they lost that, and all of these other things happened, but they let those things go. And then, as they let those things go, their lives shifted in these huge ways over and over and over and over because it's four world card energies. And in all of that, they retained enough of their composure to complete the challenge and keep moving forward. But again, it feels like it also speaks to the power of insight, logic, and intelligence. Because it's like if the King of Swords energy were to think of the things that he was losing, he would be able to understand that he's not losing anything that he was like using or that he needed or that he wanted. So why would he fight its absence? And then as things are changing, he would be able to see that even if they're challenging or difficult, they're changing for the better. And again, like it's the Eight of Wands. So as these things are removed and as things change, it creates the space for this energy to like do whatever. Like it creates this movement when there is no movement. Or it creates movement where everything else is still. And the only thing flowing is the water. It's keeping the water moving. It's keeping the water from stagnating, actually. So that's our final card from this side. From the Page of Swords to the King of Swords. I forgot that Page of Swords was over there. Cool. Now I've made this more than twice as long as it needed to be. But I guess that's the energy moving forward. So maybe it'll be like, think of a time in your life where there were a lot of things happening and a lot of things changing, and maybe some things that didn't work out and some things that did work out. Like at the end of the day, is it possible that it all ended up working out in the end? And if it did end up working out in the end, are we capable of trusting that it'll work out this time too? I don't know. Intelligence and investigation are like our friend in this. It's like if we were to think about it, and again, it is pulling on the not necessarily wet nature of the King of Swords, meaning the not necessarily emotional nature. It's the nature of the King of Swords that is able to make head over heart decisions, that is able to rationalize and reason with self. And I guess I could say, in some way, it's the mark of a true King of Swords or a wise King of Swords to make a head over heart decision without invalidating his feelings or emotions. Because you don't have to invalidate feelings and emotions to make a choice or decision that may go against them. But again, that was that devil energy. It was making the hard choice instead of doing the thing that feels better today and putting it off until tomorrow. A stitch in time saves nine. And that King of Swords energy don't even use a full stitch. As soon as something looks like it's about to fray, King of Swords is on. He's like, oh yeah, take care of that. And they're like, but it looks fine, Your Majesty, Your Kingliness. Like, take care of what? There's nothing wrong with it. He's like, when your eye is as discerning as mine, because you've been seeing some things, you would know that that's what it looks like when it's about to fray. And why even use one stitch? You know, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, that's what I got for you. I hope you all have an amazing whatever whenever you see this. I hope you're asking in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope that whatever you need along your path, journey, what you find, even if it's somebody else, you know what I mean? If it don't resonate, if I don't resonate for you, why are you still here? Life is too short for you to be watching someone who doesn't resonate with you on YouTube, especially if that person is me. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see where this crazy ride takes us. I honestly might be live again. I'm gonna pack most of my things. My laptop is not gonna be packed, and this deck isn't gonna be packed. Even though I feel like I could have used a different one today, especially to like clarify and get in there. But it's fine. It's fine. Thank y'all for stopping by. Bye.